Kaldor Draigo, Supreme Grandmaster of the Grey Knights, stands as a legend clad in silver and meat. For over a century, he has been lost within the madness of the warp, roaming the realm of chaos where no mortal should tread. Yet even amidst that nightmare realm, his spirit remains unbroken. At times, when the veil between reality thins and the demonic surge threatens to drown the Imperium, Draigo pierces the immaterium and walks once more among his battle brothers. In these moments, he brings vengeance forged in the crucible of the warp itself, a beacon of fury against the dark. And though his return is fleeting, a prophecy lingers in whispered tones, that when the Imperium faces its darkest hour, Draigo shall return not as a ghost of war, but as a commander of destiny to lead the Grey Knight and the Emperor's faithful to a final, burning triumph. Welcome, lore lovers, to another tale brought to you by Liandrug. Today, we journey into the heart of myth and madness, where heroes rise against the impossible and legends are forged in the fires of the unknown. Gather close, for this is the story of one such figure, etched into the echoes of time and shadow. Kaldor Draigo's legend began in the flames of a desperate war. In the year 799 millennium 41, the world of Acralem was under siege. A demon incursion, led by the monstrous Prince of Chaos known as M'kar the Reborn, swept across the planet, threatening to consume not just Acralem, but the entire Vidar sector in warp-born corruption. The Imperium answered with fury. 9 regiments of the Astra Militarum and Space Marines from the Astral Knights and Flesh Terrors rallied to its defense. But it was the Third Brotherhood of the Grey Knights, and among them a warrior named Kaldor Draigo, who turned the tide. Their strategy was bold, an unexpected assault on M'kar warp-forged fortress. In the heart of this nightmare, Draigo met the Daemon Prince in battle and struck the killing blow, banishing the creature and breaking the demonic host. But before M'kar was fully dragged into the warp, he spat out a curse. Victory is yours this day, mortal, but know that if ever you set foot upon this world again, you and all who follow you shall walk with damnation for 10 millennia. Draigo's valor earned him promotion to Justicar, the beginning of his swift and storied rise. For 2 centuries he served the chapter with unmatched distinction, his honors rivaled only by Janus, one of the founding Grand Masters. When the previous Supreme Grand Master fell at the hands of Mortarion, Primarch of the Death Guard, Draigo ascended. His first act in command was one of defiance. He carved his fallen predecessor's name into Mortarion's diseased heart, a wound that the Demon Primarch would never forgive. 200 years after the battle for Acralem, a chilling message reached Titan. Acralem was once more in peril, its skies dark with demonic fire. Draigo understood the meaning at once. M'kar has returned. The curse laid upon him was stirring, and it was he alone who must answer it. He forbade the Grey Knights from joining him, unwilling to risk their fate for a burden he deemed his own. Alone he returned to the world of his past triumph, walking its blood-soaked plains once more. At Castle Gorset, he summoned psychic fire that burned through hordes of plague spawn and demons. In Trebarin Valley, he stood at the narrow pass and alone held back the tide, allowing the Cadian 912th to escape. For 2 days he fought without rest, an immovable sentinel. The final reckoning came atop Shadow Peak, beside the rift where M'kar drew his strength. Surrounded by clashing warriors and storming warp winds, Draigo sought out the Demon Prince once more. They met in a fury of blade and sorcery. Words were poison, his blade wreathed in warp flame. With one savage strike, he shattered Draigo's sword and forced him to one knee. But Draigo would not fall. Before we press deeper into this tale of valor and damnation, take a moment, brave lore lovers. If you are enjoying this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Liandrug. Every click helps this channel grow, so I can continue bringing you the stories that shape the worlds we love. He rose with a cry and, gripping the broken hilt of his nemesis' force sword, drove its jagged stump into M'kar's chest. With that blow, the Demon Prince was undone. The rift faltered, his legions vanished, and reality reasserted its rule. Yet M'kar's vengeance was not yet spent. In the last moments of his unmaking, he wrapped his claws around Draigo's throat and hurled him into the collapsing warp gate. And so, the Supreme Grand Master was lost. His war far from over, his path swallowed by the madness beyond. Cast into the howling madness of the warp, Kaldor Draigo did not perish. He emerged within the realm of chaos, where the fabric of reality unravels and the will of the dark gods shapes the world in their image. Yet his mind did not fracture. Where lesser men would have been lost to madness or corrupted by seduction, Draigo endured, his soul shielded by unwavering resolve and the fire of the Emperor. He wandered through nightmare realms timeless and strange. In Khorne's domain, atop the towering blood falls, he faced the mighty bloodthirster Karvot. With sanctified flame, Draigo cleansed the demon's axe and reforged his shattered sword with the molten ruin, born anew in the crucible of chaos. He scorched a path through Nurgle's festering gardens, where sickened growth curled into ash under the force of his psychic might. The air itself reeked of burnt rot for many cycles after. Through Slaaneish's whispering meadows, he strode next, unmoved by the temptations of 6 demonids who promised power, glory, and all mortal dreams. He left them scattered like petals across the alabaster fields. At the gates of the inevitable city, Draigo met the Lord of Change, M'kar, who offered him passage home. The Grey Knight answered with violence, reducing the sorcerer's city to rubble and entombing its avian master within. With each conquest, fewer demons dared challenge him. His name echoed as an impossibility, an incorruptible soul within a domain defined by corruption. Yet, even as he triumphed, chaos renewed itself. Slain demons returned, jungles renewed, walls rebuilt. Every victory was temporary, every purge undone. The realm of chaos could not destroy him, but he could not destroy it either. Then a rift tore through reality on the world of Justero. The prophet of Justero, in league with the demon Enkari, pulled part of the warp into the mortal realm and Draigo with it. For a brief moment he stood again in real space, reunited with his brothers, though none knew him and he knew none of them. Still, they fought side by side, driving back the prophet and banishing his demonic allies. But Draigo's freedom was fleeting. As the rift closed, he was dragged back into the warp, M'kar's curse still binding him. Since that time, the pattern has repeated endlessly. He returns in moments of dire need, strikes down the forces of chaos, and is then cast back into the swirling torment of the Immaterium. Despite the cycle of hope and despair, Draigo endures. He never wavers, never yields, and never speaks of the burden he bears. With the opening of the Great Rift, reality itself has become more fragile. Draigo has been seen more often across the stars, fighting in war zones spread across opposite sides of the galaxy. Some among the Grey Knights believe the Rift's presence has loosened the chains that bind him. Others think chaos is too dispersed now to hold him. He does not ponder the reasons. While others speculate, Draigo hunts. Mortarion, the killer of his predecessor, remains his chosen prey. And still, the prophecy lingers, that when the Imperium faces its darkest hour, when hope is but a flicker, Kaldor Draigo shall return to the mortal realm and lead them once more. And thus our story comes to a pause, but never an end. If this tale stirred your imagination, be sure to like, share and subscribe to Liandrug. And if you wish to keep the fires of lore burning, join our Discord, a cozy haven for lore lovers like you, where stories live on and legends are never forgotten.